Sydney Airport has joined the list of possible exposure sites. New suburbs are also on alert. Kenny Heatley is live for us in Sydney this morning. Kenny, there is now an extensive list of effective suburbs and venues. What's the main concern now for contact tracers?
Too many to list here. There's around 250 venues which are now on the exposure site list, and around over 40 train, light rail, bus and flight transport routes as well. The full list on the New South Wales Health website. But New South Wales Health say that the main venues of concern is where an infectious person has visited, but also there's been a known transmission occur at those venues, and they are the Lyfe Café Bondi Beach between the 16th and 24th of June, Joh Bailey hairdressing salon in Double Bay between the 12th and the 18th of June, Great Ocean Foods in Marrickville. This is a real problem, this one. 11 cases stemming from this business between Monday and Friday of last week, and they're looking into deliveries as well. The Royal Bondi on Bondi Rd, weekend of the 19th and 20th of June. And Westfield Bondi Junction, the 12th and the 18th. More suburbs, new suburbs added to the list last night that are affected. Sydney Olympic Park, Lakemba, Eastgardens, Belmore and Croydon Park. Now, Terminal 2 at Sydney Airport is also one of the latest venues affected. Particularly, it's the whole terminal, but in particular the food court. We do know that a Virgin flight crew member has tested positive to the virus and worked on 5 flights between Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and the Gold Coast over 2 days. Virgin say that they're pretty strict on flight crews wearing masks, but here's what Dr. Kerry Chant had to say about it.
What's positive is that we're picking up that the flights are relatively recent, and obviously it's something we don't want to have occurred.
There were 30 cases that were reported new last night. The Bondi cluster has grown to 110 cases. A further 2 cases are under investigation. Now, 11 of those cases were in isolation, so that's good news. 3 of them were in isolation for part of their infectious period, and the remainder have been out and about in the community. 1 person, Danica, is in ICU, but as of yesterday afternoon, they were not on a ventilator.
And Kenny, the Premier is facing some criticism about her decision not to lock down sooner.
All you have to do is scroll through Twitter and you can see some of this criticism, but even Australia's chief medical body, the Australian Medical Association, has said that the Premier should have locked down sooner. The Premier defended her decision.
There's about 5 million people in Greater Sydney now in lockdown. Did you delay the decision to call a lockdown because you wanted to keep your reputation as being the Premier who keeps open and looks after the economy?
Can I say very, very confidently and strongly that any success New South Wales has had to date is because our government has to the letter followed the health advice.
The Premier says a business financial support package is on the way, but also Treasurer Dominic Perrottet is thinking about expanding the Dine and Discover voucher program through Service New South Wales. He's thinking about extending the expiry date for the vouchers past June, but also thinking about allowing people to use it for takeaway services and delivery, but it would have to be direct to the restaurant. You couldn't order through Uber Eats or Deliveroo or anything like that. The opposition leader, Chris Minns, is in support of expanding the Dine and Discover program, and he wants to add another $25 voucher. So these are some of the support packages, Danica, that may be on the way to support those small businesses through the lockdown.